I'm gonna be honest, originally this video was just gonna be talking about the Brown University school shooting.
Hands. Everybody get your hands. Hands. Just keep your hands up for us. Obviously there's something going on. We're here to help you. Just listen to what we have to say, okay? All right, breathe. Anybody hurt? No? All right, just listen to our commands. We will get you out of here safely. Is this it? Is this the group?
Guys, if you have your bags, your phones, go grab it now. Quickly.
Go, quick, go.
In orderly, fast. Let's go.
Let's go.
Good job.
Grab your stuff. Hurry up.
And how it's a tragedy, and how people, as they've done every single other time because it is commonplace, are now burping out their usual takes about gun control and how it would be better, and people are retorting saying that's not going to work and you're taking our guns away. And the video is still primarily going to have that in it. It's just going to also have another element in it that I will get to a little later in the video because, oh boy, do people piss me off. But I do want to stress that it is very disheartening to once again be in a scenario where you have to wake up and hear about people losing their lives and being in the hospital in a place where they're supposed to be learning, getting ready for finals, and dealing with the overall stress of graduating, knowing that in the years to come, they're going to be owing a college a lot of money. And that's really all they're supposed to be thinking about. But to be in a situation where they have to be locked in rooms, locked in dorms for their overall safety because somebody's on that campus killing people and shooting others is very concerning and is a problem and should speak to a wider conversation around college campus security because as somebody who went to college in the South, let me just say college campuses are too open. All you got to do is dress like a bum and you could walk on a college campus. Look at me. I look like a bum. I got on a book sack. I could go on a college campus and do whatever I want. But there's a reason why that conversation won't be had, or at least it's not going to be something in the grander scheme that's going to be talked about. It's because it's not a part of the wheel. You know the wheel, where the shooting happens, we all hear about it, we're all disgusted, we're all concerned. Some people are worried that their children are dead, and we start thoughts and praying everything. We start having the conversation about gun control. There's funerals where people got to actually go and grieve about their family members no longer being here, and then rinse, repeat all over again, the cycle anew. We'll see you for the next school shooting.
Saying thoughts and prayers when a school shooting happens is like the same thing as trying to use a napkin to dry up the ocean. It means nothing and it does nothing. And what happened at Brown last night is so tragic, and it just makes me so mad when I see events like this happen. And it hits maybe a little bit closer to heart for me because at my high school and my college there was a school shooting, and then at my dad's university that he works out there was a mass school shooting. And mine weren't mass school shootings, but it's still a school shooting nonetheless. Obviously, those experiences have shaped how I view the world and how I view certain things and policies and mental health and whatnot. But the one thing I know for sure that's come from this is that saying thoughts and prayers is the most bullshit thing you can do. And at least in my experience, hearing people say, oh, thoughts and prayers, it pisses me the fuck off. Because what is it actually doing? It's not enacting change. It's not enacting policy change. It's not giving people the help they need. It's literally just you saying that to make yourself feel good about it. Because while you may think it does something, it actually doesn't enact any change. It doesn't bring back anybody who was dead or help the people who were injured, or it doesn't stop it from ever happening. The only thing it does is put a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. That's the only thing it does, and it means nothing.
Which is why many people are desensitized. And there will be people who will hear that and say, you shouldn't be desensitized by things like this. You should actually be heartbroken. And I am. It's upsetting knowing that people, whether they be young adults, teenagers, children, are going into a place of education or going out in public in general, and then you find out that a bunch of them are getting shot at on a random day where they're either going to school or they're hanging out with friends or they're just out in public regardless, and somebody just shows up in the area and starts shooting, and everybody just seemingly moves on and goes to the next thing. You will have these conversations about gun control, and it will devolve into this wide conversation of everybody getting their guns taken away from them, and it'll ultimately just fall on everybody's feet until we wait for the next one and start it all over again and act as if we've been here for the first time all over again. And the disheartening part is when people come up with these ideas on ways to counter it, because if you're somebody who's against gun control, it's probably something you've seen where people were bringing up that where this happened is a place where gun control is really rampant. Probably not to a T as many people would like who advocate for it, but you see that, you see the laws, you see how they're implemented, and you would think, all right, maybe this won't happen here, and then it happens here. So the feather is in your cap to say, see, these criminals, these people who don't care anyway, will just show up anywhere with a gun and start shooting. And then, once again, conversation falls at the feet. Nobody really does anything. Cycle repeats itself all over again. But in saying that, people have ideas like, well, more people should have guns because if there were more guns in the area, maybe that could help soften the blow. Or maybe if we had police in all these different schools, it wouldn't happen. Number one, on that point, who's going to pay all these cops in all these cities to go to all these schools, elementary, middle, high, college, community college, all of them? You would have to have a wide police force in order to tackle every single one of these schools, because you can't just sit there and just only give them to certain schools, because what if it happens to a school that no cop is at? What are we going to do? Oh, fuck, we didn't think of that? That's a problem. And to the point about everybody having a gun, you're either going to have it standard by law, mandatory, everybody have one, or you're going to run the risk that maybe there's going to be a place, a school, a mall, a park, anywhere, a movie theater where somebody doesn't have a gun, and or they do and they just don't bring it, and somebody comes in and shoots everybody. Then what? The guy who didn't have the mandatory gun on him all of a sudden is also a dumbass because he didn't bring his gun to potentially stop somebody. Then let's bring in the school aspect, because everybody has the idea that teachers should be having the guns. And you know what? That could be one in theory, but let's say one of these little bastards is the school shooter and they know their teacher has a gun and they open fire on the teacher first and then start blasting the entire classroom. Then what? Oh, not really thought of in the grand scheme? It needs to be something where I understand these ideas, all of them, as much as many people might disagree with this, all of these ideas are layered around the same concept: preventing school shootings, mass shootings, any shootings in general. You would want that. Nobody wants to constantly hear, hey, this happened at this school, this happened at this school, this happened at a park, this happened here, this happened there. You don't constantly want to wake up and hear that. You want to doom scroll about other shit. You want to doom scroll about how bad your mental health is and how your algorithm via your phone is showing you shit related to how bad your life is at the moment. You don't want to hear about people dying, because that just makes it fucking worse. You have ideas that in conversation with people might sound good, but logistically it's going to take a lot of planning and a lot of fucking money. And even still, with them implemented, you run the risk of it not working. Why? Because there's one detail that's being left out. It's teeny weeny detail that's being left out in regards to all of these ideas. Trust in your fellow man. And I'm sorry, everybody don't trust each other right now. Everybody hate each other for sports teams and food. You think they're going to rely on each other to not kill another person? Absolutely not. It ain't going to go down like that. Well, what's your bright idea, Leon? Well, I have a solution. Stop fucking each other. Stop semen dispensing in women's bodies with consent and then creating life 9 months later. And everybody who's already on the earth now, you just live it, and then you pass away via natural causes, your body shutting down, and then we all go to the afterlife. Oh, that's a dumb idea? Well, that's the only one I got, because everything else will still lead to somebody dying. So any ideas welcome in the comments down below. But there's another element to this that needs to be discussed in the realm of being desensitized to school shootings, mass shootings, all that. It's the game. You know the one. The game everybody plays, everybody has a hand in, everybody gets excited for, where we guess the skin color of the shooter. And as I'm recording this, I believe it is Monday, December 15th, and it is 1:41 a.m. And I'm going to be honest, ever since this shooting happened, it's been very interesting. First, the initial shock of it. Then we get the description. It's somebody in all black. Then everybody's questioning, how come we're not seeing any video of this? Why aren't we seeing any camera footage of this? How come we're not getting any information about this? Then the cops come out and hold a press conference saying, well, we don't have any video evidence of it.
Somebody had said, and I want to make sure we're correct in reporting this, that he may have walked out of a building, and I'm wondering, how did he get access to the building, and is there video from inside the building?
That I don't have. I don't have the answer if there's video inside that building that depicts him. There is video inside that building. However, I haven't seen him on video inside that building, and he did walk out of the building.
So can you explain that to me, in all of us? So he was in the building, but we don't have video of him in the building.
We haven't recognized him in the video yet. We do see some video from inside the building of a commotion. Clearly, students are running. However, we don't have the, from the video that I've seen so far, we don't have the suspect depicted in a video.
Is there any reason to believe this is international terrorism, or is this just some disgruntled student?
That we don't know yet.
A disgruntled student that just came in to shoot up because he was upset about final exams or something?
So I don't know what we're really going to do here. Then video shows a person who could be of interest, who fits the description of wearing all black, walking by, and I guess that would maybe be the guy. Then somewhere in the middle of all that, for some reason, Trump burps out that they got a guy in custody. Now, I'm not too certain of the timeline of this as I'm recording, but I'm going to get it and I'm going to add it into the video via the illustrious editing process. And I'm going to be honest, if the school was still on lockdown while this guy tweeted this and these people on campus had to scramble because he's tweeting this out, imagine if somebody sees that and then runs the risk of just believing it and walking off the campus and potentially running into the shooter and getting shot. That would have been on Trump, because that was ignorant to tweet out without full context of what's going on. As much as somebody watching this might like Trump, that was egregiously dumb to do. And I don't know who informed him of that shit, but oh my, fire that motherfucker immediately. But as it trickled into Sunday afternoon, you started seeing pictures of people as suspects being apprehended by the police. And then for some reason, everybody got on social media and started talking, and they started saying, oh, well, it's another one of those. And it was a white guy.
And we knew it was a white guy from here. The moment that they said that they had a person of interest in custody, that was not an immigrant, that was not Muslim, that was not trans, that was not Antifa, that was not anything outside of the generic vanilla option. Brown University shooter was a white guy who worked for the U.S. Army as a cyber warfare officer. At least that's what it looks like. Benjamin Erickson went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. The Army said that he was an infantryman from May of 2021 until November of 2024. He never deployed, and it appears that he has no criminal record. And I've already heard rumblings that he might have a history of mental health issues. But the thing is, we don't know much. We never know much at this point in time after a mass shooting. But Benjamin Erickson is given the benefit of the doubt because he appears to be a straight white Christian man. His actions are not immediately seen as a reflection of his race, color, creed, immigration status, sexual orientation, gender, or political affiliation. This guy gets to just be a bad guy and not have it be a reflection of the community that you think he's a part of. But if he was in an other category, this would be written off as being a product of his involvement with that category.
Breaking news, some information has been released about the alleged shooter at Brown University. Absolutely no one's surprise is allegedly a white man from Wisconsin who drove to Rhode Island. The suspect has an apartment in Washington, D.C., and his name is Benjamin Erickson. At this time, they're not looking into any other suspects. When they went into this man's hotel room, found 2 weapons on him. It's unclear whether he has any connection to Brown or why he would have carried out this act. But he did serve in the Army for 3 years, and he went to school in Wisconsin for business. From what I could find of his LinkedIn, here are some photos and some other information on him. Point being, we have a problem in this country with white men thinking that they can do whatever they want and that they can take people's lives, often for religious or political reasons. I wouldn't be surprised if Brown was targeted for being a liberal and LGBTQ friendly university. Someone who graduated from Brown last year, I feel this loss deeply, and I want to say rest in peace to the victims. The entire community, both on campus and off, is feeling the effects of these losses. Again, it's still very early in the process, so please keep an eye out for more updates.
So the suspected Brown University shooter is a cyber welfare officer in the U.S. Army? Nobody's gonna mention this? Now, don't get me wrong, Benjamin Erickson could be a very popular name in Wisconsin. And I wasn't going to jump to any conclusions until a representative from Wisconsin said this on his page. Reports coming out that the person of interest was Benjamin Erickson, a 24-year-old originally from West Bend, Wisconsin, and a UW-Madison alumni. West Bend, Wisconsin. Bachelor of Business Administration, University of Wisconsin-Madison. According to his own LinkedIn page, he had top security clearance or sensitive compartmented information, which is one of the top highest security accesses in our government. We all knew the second that Trump said that they had somebody in custody, and then that turned out to be a lie, that something weird was going on with this Brown University shooting. And they haven't put a picture to the name yet, but if this is the guy, then this is a weird. Just starting to notice a pattern with these shooters.
Breaking news, the shooter at Brown University, the alleged suspected shooter, is a man named Benjamin Erickson, who is from Wisconsin and was a Army National Ground Intelligence Center worker, was a newly commissioned U.S. Army cyber warfare officer and recent graduate of the Wisconsin School of Business, and went to Slinger High School from West Bend, Wisconsin, went to the Wisconsin School of Business, went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. It is very unclear why he went all the way to Brown University to shoot people during finals. The only discrepancy here is that while the Daily Mail and some other sources have confirmed that this is the guy, NBC News says that he was born in August, and the guy we're showing was born in October, but I think this is the guy.
We now know the identity of the Brown shooter. According to NBC News, his name is Benjamin Erickson, and he's originally from Wisconsin, but has an apartment in D.C. Now, taking a look at his LinkedIn here, Benjamin Erickson is a cyber warfare officer in the United States Army, or at least that's what his job was. He also went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. And this is what his LinkedIn profile looks like. It says that he's a newly commissioned U.S. Army cyber warfare officer and recent graduate of the Wisconsin School of Business. He's got a BBA in information systems and finance with a data science certificate. According to NBC News, he was an infantryman in the Army from May 2021 to November 2024. And an Army spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Ruth Castro, said in a statement that initial public records do not indicate that he ever had a criminal record. She also says that he has no deployments left in the Army, and he finished at the rank of a specialist. Benjamin Erickson is 24 years old and was found in a hotel room in Coventry, Rhode Island this morning with 2 firearms in the room. Police have had him in custody and have been interviewing him ever since. 9 people were shot yesterday at Brown University. 2 of them have since passed away, and 8 were injured. I can't wait to hear what the MAGA trolls have to say about Benjamin Erickson, the Brown shooter.
And you might be wondering why I'm not putting the picture on the screen or why I've edited this guy's face out of all of these TikToks. Well, that wasn't the guy. And then it ended up being a conversation of, well, the person allegedly screamed something, but nobody could figure out what it is. And because Twitter is one of the worst places to garner information when it comes to developing stories as it happens day by day, you got people running around not showing any proof, saying motherfucker was yelling out some shit that most people probably wouldn't yell out on a plane. And so everybody's wondering now, all right, we went from white guy to now it's one of these people who could be an illegal invader, and it should ramp up the conversation about how deportation is necessary and blah, 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 blah. And then another guy's picture gets posted, and it's another white guy, conveniently having the exact same name as the last guy.
24-year-old Benjamin Erickson from Cedarburg, Wisconsin, is currently the person of interest that is in custody for the Brown University shooting that happened yesterday. His photo is up here. This is the correct photo. I've sourced it from several news agencies, and I've looked at the LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile does mention that he went to Cedarburg High School. It also mentioned that he went to University of Wisconsin in Milwaukee and was transferring to Brown University for the August 2025 semester. It just goes to show you, please be careful what you take in on social media, because it's not all what it seems. I'm sure we'll find out more for this case. There have been 2 deaths related to this shooting. He was, or I should say has previously served for the military, including, I guess, in Washington, D.C. I mean, that's what his LinkedIn profile says. And that's what I've heard other news agencies talking about today. I'm sure we'll find out more. But this is the correct Benjamin, okay?
No, he didn't. His name was Benjamin Erickson. He was a 24-year-old. No evidence of this. And yet, millions of people have already saw it. Millions of people are probably going to believe this bullcrap. Reminds me how disgusted people are just to take advantage of a moment of absolute tragedy for their own political gain and fucking views.
But again, not showing these dudes pictures. Why? Because they're already getting smeared enough, and because the internet is the ultimate beast that cannot be conquered, their names are getting bashed to the mud still right now at 1 a.m. as I'm recording this, because motherfuckers don't want to admit that they got this shit egregiously wrong and they should fucking stop. They'll probably do a little update later, but it's the fact that these motherfuckers were so brazen in posting shit without actually verifying it is disastrous. And what is annoying about that is that the police held a press conference earlier in the night talking about that and saying that it's an embarrassment that that information got to the public anyway.
You know, I want to share with the people of the state of Rhode Island what this investigation looks like, where we are today, where I anticipate it moving forward. So last night, I wish you could have been with me in the command post where there were literally dozens of Providence police officers working to develop leads in this very difficult case. Difficult, obviously, because of the tragedy that occurred on the campus, but also difficult in terms of developing evidence. That work continues, and it will continue tomorrow. Our prosecutors were there, 6 in total. Our victim services folks were at the hospital. But this is what these investigations look like. I've been around long enough to know that sometimes you head in one direction and then you have to regroup and go in another. And that's exactly what has happened over the last 24 hours or so. Collectively, the team developed leads in a number of areas. One was chased to ground. It led to us detaining a person of interest. And so those words and how we choose those words when we're talking about an investigation matter. And what it means here is that certainly there was some degree of evidence that pointed to this individual, but that evidence needed to be corroborated and confirmed. And over the last 24 hours, leading into just very, very recently, that evidence now points in a different direction. So what that means is that this person of interest needs to be and should be released. I think what is really unfortunate that this person's name was leaked to the public. It's hard to put that back in the bottle, okay? So we're going to proceed very carefully here. There is too much at stake for the victims of this horrific crime and their families to take chances with respect to this investigation. What I anticipate seeing going forward is that our team of prosecutors will be working with the Providence Police Department as the principal leads in this investigation. We will have our resources amplified by the state police, by the FBI, by the ATF, by the DEA, by the Marshal Service, and others as we develop leads and move towards justice in this case. But this could happen very quickly, but it could take some time. And so,
which should be the correct response, because you could talk about police incompetence and how they're handling it and how it is kind of fucking embarrassing that a college campus apparently has all these cameras and there's no angle of this motherfucker anywhere. That's a problem. Let's not mince words here. That's a fucking issue. But to sit up here and think to yourselves, all right, we got like this little crumb of information, blow it the fuck up, and let's hope to God that we're right because we got narratives to spin, is stupid because of what I've said for all of this time. If you've been on this channel long enough, I have said it. It is disastrously risky to be, first, than it is to be right. Because when you try to be first, you can have all the likes, you can have all the interaction, you can have a little bit of that financial gain, but you might look fucking stupid if you end up being wrong. And these two dudes that they've plastered all over social media, saying they the suspects, saying they caught them, saying they in custody, saying, oh my God, it's another one of these non-LGBTQ, non-black, white guys who was probably a Trump supporter. That's not needed, primarily because of something I'm going to discuss when I'm ready to wrap this video up. But because you motherfuckers are so driven by a need to be first, you end up looking stupid. And while I'm certain you might have balls down there to print out retractions and state that shit on these same platforms as egotistically as you did, some of them won't, because of something very key that I'm going to touch on. I don't know, maybe it's this sixth sense, but I have a feeling somebody is going to hear what I just said and write the longest paragraph possible about how it's important for the officers and the police to keep us updated. And my response to that is, in an open investigation, things take time. There's no way these people can comb through all of that footage that quickly. They need to find the guy, and they can't just sit and stop just to tell y'all while y'all are huddled up in the cold flashing cameras at them that they're working on details. I don't want to hear that. I just want you to come out with results. If you want to have somebody be the spokesperson for that and letting people know what's going on, fine. But lining up for a photo op about how you're investigating everything is useless to me. Go find the killer, because while you sit there on a podium twiddling your thumbs talking about all of this, people are just openly spreading lies based off of leaked information that should have never been out in the public anyway. Why? Because now you got two people's names being dragged through the mud, and because, as I said, the internet is that beast that you can never really tame. No matter when the truth comes out, months from now, people are still gonna sit there and be like, oh, y'all remember those two white guys that shut up that university? Because media retention along with media literacy is in the fucking garbage. And that thing is narrative based. The final reason why, as a society, we are desensitized to it, because we go on all these platforms and everybody's talking about breaking news. And what's some of the first things you see? This happened because this left-wing politician advocated for this. This happened because this conservative advocated for this. Oh, it's a black guy. It's another one of those usual suspects. I got black fatigue. Oh, it was a white guy. See, all these white people do is fuck their brothers and their mothers and shoot other people. Oh, see, they're all racist. See, all they do is vote for Trump. Oh, it's another one of those LGBTQ. See, trans violence. And you know what happens after all of that? No matter which side of the spectrum you interact with, agree with, disagree with, you know what happens after all of that? Nothing. Nothing happens. Nothing. We all thoughts and prayers at the hell, have hot takes about gun control. We start guessing, not based off of wanting to have accurate information out there about who this dude is, but just to start spewing narratives and make all these tweets and make all these videos about how, see these conservatives, see these leftists, see these liberals, see these libertarians, see these third-party voters, see these weed smokers, see these chain smokers. It happens every time. And for some fucking reason, it just keeps going, and it never really stops, and it will never really stop. I told y'all a few weeks ago, maybe even last week, that the wheel is the greatest invention known to man because you don't have to change it. All you have to do is change the pace, and people will think it's something shiny and new. And with this, you'll see it slowly, but then you'll start to see it pick up a little pace, and then it'll stop because it's already reached its conclusion. And then we'll just have to wait for the next one, probably, since everybody's about to be going on Christmas break, in January. And then the wheel is going to start again, and it'll probably start faster and then slow down a little bit, because that's how it goes every single time. It is a tragedy that people have lost their lives in a way and in a place where they shouldn't. It is a travesty that we really can't get past the talking stage of potential solutions and ideas because everybody's so fixated on either not having guns or being strapped to the nines with everything that you could fit out your ass from a GTA lobby. It's embarrassing that people are more focused on just spewing shit out there without verifying and hiding behind the words allegedly and sources that they never fucking name to try to make it seem like they're the most credible person on earth. It's embarrassing how no matter the subject matter, we're still going to be here the next time. And for as much as I've burped out all these things that would make you feel defeated in the subject matter, there's one thing that I wish I could have the ability to get started, but because I don't have that type of leeway, maybe someone else out there has that bit of power and that little bit of stroke, they'll be able to get it done. My idea, my crackpot idea, is because we know it's going to happen again. Despite any rainbowed mindset where everyone's living in Candyland, we know it's going to happen again. So how about, if it doesn't already exist, create this great big fund for funerals, specifically in regards to mass shootings, because already, and it don't even have to just be funerals, it could be for hospital bills too, because we know both of those will run these families a lot of money. And a time where money is probably the most important thing, the holidays, you probably won't really be financially able to deal with making sure people have a Merry Christmas and also making sure somebody has a proper funeral or covering hospital costs. So if the idea is already out there, amplify it to the nines, because at some point, everybody's got to understand that this is going to happen again. So we might as well just all give a helping hand in making sure that funerals or hospital bills are covered. I've seen y'all give money for dumber shit. So one bright idea shouldn't be enough to make you scoff at the opportunity to actually hold your weight of being a decent human being. And all I got to say after that is let me know what you think in the comments down below. Am I in the ballpark? Are you desensitized? Is it a tragedy? Is it, for some reason, a certain type of style terrorist attack that somebody predicted a few weeks ago? Or is it just a commonplace thing that, unfortunately, we're all getting desensitized to the more and more it happens and the more we just casually move on as if it wasn't blown up into an egregious conversation over the weekend? And with that, I say subscribe to the channel and I shall see you in the next one. Mwah! Stay safe. Merry Christmas. Happy whatever holidays you celebrate or not. Bye-bye.